Hey everybody, Animal Man here. Today we're going to talk about one of our fantastic 4 wild edible plants, pine trees. This is an eastern white pine right here, and the cool thing about pine trees is there's all different kinds, all different places, but as long as you've got needles that grow in bundles of anywhere from 2 to 5, it's a pine tree. The uses are pretty much universal. And what we're going to talk about today is the inner bark, the cambium layer of this tree. That's where all the nutrients, the sap flows to keep this tree alive. It's a living layer. And when we harvest this, we want to use larger trees. You know, this size or bigger, I prefer. That way the tree can handle it and not die or get very, very sick and weakened. Or you use a tree branch, which won't hurt the tree, just that little branch is affected. And we never take all the way around. That's called girdling the tree, and that'll definitely kill the tree outright. We don't want to do that. We want to take care of our trees because they're a living thing. They're a resource. We want to stay alive. We don't want to go around killing things hilly-nilly here. We've got to be respectful. So, just so happens, the bark fibers travel up and down, which happens to be the best way to cut this off. We're going to take a vertical strip up and down. That way it's easier for us to get it off and harvest it, and it's also least likely to cause a problem for the tree and harm the tree. So that's what we're going to do. And we're going to use our knife for this. This is one of my favorite knives. I've used this probably the most out of all my survival knives. I love this thing. And the shape of this, the design of this knife, you can see that kind of silhouetted there. It's so that you can hold it on the back here and use the handle and use this center part to go like this. Or you can use the tip to pry, like a spatula. That's great for harvesting bark here. So we're going to kind of perforate this. We're going to just get this started. I'm going to do like maybe a 1-inch wide strip, nothing crazy. Just get it started, get it down into that inner bark layer, and then we're going to score it up and down also. Going to score it, and that makes it easier to remove this, less likely to tear where we don't want it. And right there, this side too. Make sure we're all the way through the inner bark layer, otherwise it'll shred apart as you try to yank this off. Now we're through over there. You can kind of tell when you're through and you're hitting wood because it stops pushing through and you get some resistance. Gonna do the bottom too, so the bottom comes off cleanly, hopefully. And the top probably just needs a little bit more. Want to be very careful that you don't have a hand on here when you're pushing, you slip, you slice yourself bad. Okay, so now we're going to use this like a little spatula. I'm going to try to pry, starting at the top, we're going to start to pry this off of here. Get it started gently so we don't tear the heck out of it. And I love this. I think it is so cool that you can harvest parts of a pine tree to eat, you know, because they're so common. They're everywhere, especially around here, Massachusetts. We're in Cape Cod right now. The canal is like right there. The water is about, I don't know, 100 feet away from me right here is the water. Cape Cod Canal. So it's a food source that you can use in an emergency. But it's the best to play with it now, figure it out now. That way in an emergency you already know how to do it. And emergencies are not the proper time for learning skills. Proper time is now. So right there, I didn't get through enough. There we go. All right, so now we're going to start to peel this baby off. Here it comes. There it is. There's some more there too. Okay. So, this is what it looks like. Looks almost like little wood shavings. It's the inner bark layer. You can eat it right off the tree. Pop it right in your mouth. So, see the bark on that side? the white inner bark on this side, and just peel it off in strips. Eat it right off of here. Here's the spot we cut the bark out from. You can see there's still some inner bark coming out. We can still scrape this off all the way down. Oop. And we can eat that. There's still a bunch in here, up here too, especially all the way down here. It's like a perfect little cut. Now totally heal over. If we came back here next year, there'd just be a little bump. It would come out a little bit, be discolored. The tree will be perfectly healthy. And it's got tons of vitamins. It's loaded with vitamins that'll help you out. You can survive just off of this for probably several months and be okay. I mean, it's like eating cardboard. You're going to be constipated for sure. It's not going to be pretty, but you'll be alive. It'll sustain you. Well, the Adirondack Indians were called Adirondack, and that meant bark eaters, because this was a staple food of theirs. They'd survive off of this in the winter, and it helped them out greatly. Whoop. All right, so here's that strip we cut off. You can see it kind of close up. This is all inner bark on the inner side here, and you can just peel it right off, pop it in your mouth. If you don't want to eat it raw like this, another option is to add it to soups or stews, things you're cooking. Or you can dry it by the fire or in the sun and grind it up into flour to add to other things like acorn flour or I don't know, cattail flour or stuff like that, to add vitamins, nutrients to it. So I hope you guys enjoyed this. I want you to try it out. Maybe if there's a storm nearby and a tree falls over, instead of just, you know, chopping it up, having somebody come with a chainsaw, get rid of it, try harvest some bark from a branch and try this out so you've got this under your belt. Kind of a cool skill, kind of cool thing to know. Hope you enjoy it.